those that have passed and pay our respects to the victims senselessly lost by these crimes. Once again, welcome to the 13 days of Halloween, and let's jump into the video. Hello everybody, welcome to our 13th and final video of the 13 days of Halloween. That means if you are listening to this the day I have released the video, it is October 31st. So happy Halloween, happy Samhain, happy festivities, whatever it is that you are doing today. I hope you enjoy and are safe. To end this incredibly fun series, I am going to be talking about the Halloween death of Kurt Sova. Before I jump into that, I just want to say thank you for being involved with this, and for those of you that have watched and commented and listened to all of these videos for the last 13 days. Thank you, and I appreciate you so much. I hope it has been enjoyable for you, and my hope is to do perhaps something kind of similar to this in December for Christmas. So, just a little something to keep in the back of your head. So, let's talk about the Halloween death of Kurt Sova. 5 days after disappearing from a house party, Kurt Sova's body was found in a location that had already been searched, resulting in a mystery that has never been solved. For many teenagers, Halloween is a big deal. It's a time to hang out with friends, attend parties, dress up, chill out away from the prying eyes of parents, perhaps. For the past 2,000 years, since the ancient Celt festival of Samhain, humans have celebrated Halloween. Celts believed that on the night before the new year, which was seen as the 1st of November, the boundary between the worlds of the living and the dead become blurred. Traditionally, the day marked the end of the summer harvest and the beginning of the winter, a time of year that was linked with death. On Friday, the 23rd of October, 1981, in Cleveland, Ohio, 17-year-old Kurt Sova left his parents' house in the mid-afternoon and met up with a friend who suggested they go to a Halloween party as a residence in the town. 5 days later, on Wednesday, the 28th of October, 3 young boys were exploring a ravine on Harvard Street when they found Kurt's body. It was located less than 500 meters from where the party had taken place. Kurt Sova lived with his parents in Newburgh Heights and was the youngest of 4 brothers. He was close to his family and wouldn't go too far without letting them know where he was. His mother, Dorothy, later stated that he was never in trouble and it was unusual unusual for him to stay out overnight. So on the morning of Saturday the 24th, Kurt's parents became quite concerned as he had not returned home or been in contact with them. His mother, Dorothy, would contact his friends throughout the day to try and find out where her son was, but nobody could confirm Kurt's whereabouts. Dorothy would pick up rumors of a Halloween party that Kurt may have attended, and she located the duplex residence and made her way there to see if the owner, Susan, had seen her son. A friend of Susan's would answer the door upon Dorothy's arrival and said that Susan was away babysitting. Dorothy would give her phone number to Susan's friend and asked that Susan call her upon her return. Kurt's parents would spend all day plastering missing person flyers around the area in the hope that someone had seen Kurt and could let them know that he was safe. Later that night, Dorothy would receive a phone call from Susan, who claimed that she never had a Halloween party at the house and had never seen Kurt at all. With this information, Dorothy had no idea what was going on and had a growing suspicion that something was not right. And so she officially reported Kurt missing. So at this point, when police become involved, a timeline begins to emerge, but with it, confusion and questions. A pizza delivery business confirmed they had sent an order to the duplex, and the driver confirmed there was in fact a party taking place. When Susan was confronted by police, she would admit to the Halloween party and that Kurt had been there. She told the police that most of the partygoers were from Detroit, Michigan, 180 miles away, and that Kurt did not know many people at the party. Police quickly tracked down many of the people who were at the party and questioned them about Kurt's attendance and appearance. Many claimed to have seen him consuming a powerful alcoholic beverage called Everclear. It is an American green spirit sold in bottles that contain between 60 to 95%, which is 120 to 190 US proof alcohol. It is generally viewed as an unfinished, undiluted ingredient that can be mixed with water to make vodka. And over the years, Everclear has developed a notorious reputation among partygoers. Kurt's parents were shocked that he would be drinking such a powerful spirit straight from the bottle, though they were aware he was consuming normal level alcohol drinks when out with friends. Perhaps due to its reputation and the fact he didn't know many people at this party, he was looking to increase his social standing with fellow people attending the party, but this is just speculation. At some point during the evening, Kurt's friend who had invited him to the party walked Kurt outside to get some fresh air as he had become far too intoxicated. Because it was a very cold October night, his friend went back inside to get Kurt's jacket. But when he basement that night. Kurt's father, Ken, was enraged by the misdirection that he was feeling was coming from Susan. And so he would enter Susan's property and searched her basement. There would be no sign of Kurt or his belongings, but the bed had been slept in, and that was clear. It is possible that Susan had also been fairly intoxicated and saw somebody else on the bed and later believed it to be Kurt. Or perhaps it was Kurt all along, and just no evidence to support that. Dorothy had put up a flyer in a local record shop, and the owner contacted her saying a man had come in 2 days after and had a very weird conversation with him. This man told the owner, quote, "You might as well take it down, as he's gonna be found dead in 2 days, and nobody's going to know how he died," end quote. This statement from the record shop owner came after the body was found, so according to investigators, it seemed likely that the conversation was taken differently. Upon seeing a missing person poster, it can be a common response for someone to believe that the missing person is already dead, according to police. And some people voiced their opinions, and maybe the record shop owner elaborated on the conversation to fit the later narrative. One of Kurt's schoolmates, Franco, had apparently seen Kurt on Monday the 26th of October. Franco claimed to have been going for a job interview when he saw Kurt walking towards an unidentified van. He would report that Kurt appeared jubilant, joyful, and happy. But Franco did not recognize the van as being local and did not know at the time that Kurt had been reported missing. But if that really was Kurt on Monday the 26th, then he must have known that his parents were looking for him and that his friends had been contacted by his mother over the previous 2 days. So it does seem unlikely that Kurt would have just been wandering around. So the question is, were lies being told to cover up the truth, or had Kurt genuinely disappeared under mysterious circumstances? On Wednesday the 28th of October, after these 3 young boys end up finding Kurt's body in the ravine, police descended on the area and a possible homicide investigation would begin. A previous search of this area had already been undertaken, and there had been no sign of Kurt's body just within the 3 days following his disappearance. His father, Ken, himself had searched this ravine as well in great detail, and again, there had been no sign of a body. An investigation would determine that there had been no indications of an assault and no major injuries suggesting Kurt had been beaten. Curiously, police would fail to locate his right shoe. An autopsy discovered that Kurt had been deceased for between 24 and 36 hours, which meant he had died at least charges. However, his family believed that he died on the 23rd, the night of the party, and that someone knew exactly what had happened that night. Now, since then, Kurt's parents and two of his brothers have since passed away, but the truth of what happened is still begging to come out by the people that know this story. In 2020, an innovative event took place at CrimeCon Chicago, where hundreds of volunteer web sleuths and experts were able to look at the details of the crime and see if they could solve it using crowdsourcing and fresh eyes. Though the results were inconclusive, it seemed to focus on the people at the party. Experts claimed that it may already be too late, as since 40 years had passed, people had begun to forget the minor details, and any lies told may have been exaggerated to the point of people being confused over time. It is also possible that Susan and some other people lied to cover up the truth. Perhaps Kurt had drunk so much Everclear that he had succumbed to alcohol poisoning and passed out. Susan and some friends could have put him in the basement bed, thinking that he would sleep it off. But perhaps the poisoning was so severe that he fell into a coma and could not be woken. In this case, the people who knew about it didn't know what to do and panicked, telling lies to say that he had left the party. When he eventually died 3 days after the party, they placed his body into the ravine to look like an accident, not realizing an autopsy would reveal the time of death or that it had already been searched. It's also possible that Kurt attempted to stagger home by himself, fell into the ravine, and succumbed to the cold, and fell into a coma before dying from the elements at the location he fell. Not finding the body beforehand could have simply been a massive oversight. The case was embedded in true crime history when 3 months later, in the very same town, a 13-year-old boy named Eugene Kvet was found dead in the exact same ravine with his right shoe missing. An autopsy put Eugene's death as accidental, suggesting he too had fallen into the ravine. Whether Kurt's death was a murder, a cover-up, or an accident, and despite many thousands of people poring over details of the case, it seems the tale may have ended with Kurt himself. So this will conclude the case of Kurt Sova. I personally think it was a murder, and the main reason for that is because Susan gave different stories and was not forthcoming that Kurt had been attending a party at the duplex that she owned. And second, I cannot shake the fact that just 3 months after his body was found, that little Eugene was also found dead in the exact same ravine, also missing a right shoe that was never located. Like, to me personally, that is not a coincidence. That is too freakishly similar. And so I just can't buy the fact that he would have died of natural causes. And from what I have read, It looks like police also noted the obvious correlation between the two cases pretty quickly. We know a significant amount about Kurt's case, but according to what I have read, the details surrounding Eugene's death have actually been kept pretty much under lock and key. It's been quite secretive. And so what we do know is that Eugene was also found exactly 6 days after he went missing. He was discovered fully clothed, yet barefoot. His left shoe was found near the scene, but his right shoe is completely missing as well. Autopsy shows that he died from falling into the ravine, but we do not know the circumstances surrounding his death. So was he pushed, or could all of this possibly be a coincidence? To this day, nobody knows. Thank you all so much for joining me on this 13 Days of Halloween series. I sincerely hope that you enjoyed it. It was a lot of work, but I really enjoyed it myself, doing something different and challenging myself to put out this many videos back to back. I will be resuming my typical schedule of Wicked Wednesdays and the Sunday Scaries. I am not sure if I will get a video out this Wednesday, which would be 2 days after Halloween. I will do my best, but if not, you will have a video coming to you from me Sunday, November 6th, to get back to the Sunday Scaries. Thank you again all so much for watching and being a part of this series. Let me know what you think about the death of Kurt, Sova, and Eugene Vet as well. Thank you, and until next